Are we live?
Think
Yes,
so.
I believe we are.
All right.
We got to give the people a little while to stream in here.
All
The
right.
chat's going to be popping off, especially after I fire off that retweet.
All right.
Well, I'm assuming when you fire it off, it's going to be like absolute pandemonium in the chat.
Yeah, they can't wait for the GG.
When the GG army rolls in, it'll be a cold day in hell.
You fired up for tomorrow to see what kind of way the Bears crush your soul again? Find all
Every
the
week, a
joy.
new misadventure, Mike. That's what I like to say. A new way to break my little heart.
I was so high on them this year because obviously I'm a Trojans fan, so I love Caleb, but I didn't factor in how their coach has no brain.
The offensive coordinator didn't last very long.
Yeah, yeah. You guys should have just kept Fields. Kept Fields, get like neighbors or something, and then called it a day.
The head ball coach has been, you know, very underwhelming
Yeah,
for
I
that
know. I know what you mean
outstanding
as a Patriots
franchise.
fan.
Yeah, what's your read on Mayo? Do you think
I
he's the
hate him.
guy?
Yep.
Really?
No, I never
Good
wanted to
enough to
live
beat the
that.
Bears?
Yeah, that's not saying anything.
Yeah, fair
No
enough.
offense.
Fair enough, Mike.
But yeah, we should have kept probably the greatest head coach of all time for a few more years, but that's just my opinion.
Do you think he got ran out of town, or do you think he was ready to
No, no,
exit?
he was run out of town. Kraft was sick of him. I hate Kraft too, unless he spends a crap ton of money this offseason. Other than
A
that,
craft ton of money.
yeah, yeah, he won't though.
I mean, the Patriots are one of those squads that just feels like they're kind of in no man's land.
They are. I mean, they have the quarterback. It looks like this kid's awesome, but it's just you got to build around him. You have no offensive line, and you're screwed.
Yeah, they the quarterback seems legit.
Yeah,
He's like I was very impressed when they played the Bears, and the defense has flashed at times.
yeah.
Is the
I
issue
want
there's
T.
just like
Higgins.
nobody on the outside and the O
Right.
line is mid?
Yeah. Give me T. Higgins, draft O line, and I think we'll be fine. Mid-average team.
Belichick went through that period where he would just draft a bunch of guards that were like 250 pounds.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why, but
I wish they just kept him, keep him on the field coaching, and then get a freaking 35-year-old GM or something. You know.
why do you think it went sour from a personnel perspective with
I think
old
after Brady, it was just I think they butted heads the whole time. Did you see that documentary on Apple TV?
I did not.
Oh, it was awesome. It was I mean I love seeing all the behind the scenes stuff, but it was just 7 episodes or 8 episodes, whatever it was. It was just even though it was Patriots porn, it was just Kraft bashing Belichick, pretty much
Really?
saying how that was up to it was pretty much him and Brady that did it all. Belichick
Really?
played a small role. Yeah, it's because he's trying to get in the Hall of Fame. That's what it is.
Kraft is trying to get in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he got denied again this year.
What does that even mean? He got denied. Like owners can get put in the Hall of Fame? That's new to
Oh
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They tried. I think this is his second or third year trying, and they denied him again.
That's why you're the professional and I'm just a guy who hosts a live stream.
I guess so.
Well,
This gimmick's
speaking of
short, babe. I can't do this anymore.
the glasses are going off.
I can't see crap.
Are you sure that I thought those were prescription?
No, no.
The
I
prescription
fooled
Monday
you.
glasses.
Yeah.
Epic. Well, let's get into it, Mike. Have you fired off a
Yeah.
little quote tweet or retweet of the thing we tagged you in? Once you do that, we'll get rolling.
Yeah, I think I did already.
Epic.
So two things. I want to give out my before
We are
after.
live, by the way, Mike. So
Oh
the
yeah,
list.
yeah.
Okay,
To keep
perfect.
the viewers viewing at the
Hey,
end. I want
listeners, dial in right now.
Yeah, to keep the viewers viewing, I want to give away my POD tonight for free, and then a 5 turkey leg gobble 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 touchdown parlay for tomorrow for free. So keep
Lead
viewing.
us off with that, Mike, because that is
You
it.
want me
That
to?
is
All right.
that is a Thanksgiving treat. Is this Halloween or is it Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving. All right, so I got St. Brown, I got C.D. Lamb, I got Gibbs, I got Jaden Reed, I got Jalen Waddle, DK boost. I think FanDuel has a boost too. Seventh out odds are plus 7,864. Do it.
Christmas just got a little bit merrier if we
You want me
put
to give
that
away my
ticket in.
play of the day today, right now too, or you want me to wait a
Let's
little
give
bit?
the play a day at the
Yeah, I like
end.
that little tease.
Classic Give them a little at the start. Keep them
Yeah.
on the hook.
That's
We'll
what
give away the
DCTV is
POD
all
at the
about.
end. This is not our first rodeo, and it's not the gambling god's first rodeo. Let me hype you up
Nah.
real quick.
All right.
One of the longest tenured and most prolific cappers in the game.
Pain in the ass.
Pain in the ass for the bookmaker, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
The guy's a machine. He covers every sport under the sun. He's one of the hardest working guys in the game, and he is making his debut today on
Yep.
DCTV. Lose
Appreciate
big
it.
winners, going to dial up a bunch of Big Ten football action. To celebrate the occasion, he's doing an unreal deal. 75% off. Use code THANKS. The link will be in the comments if it's not already. Alex is on the case. Mike, welcome to the program, and please say hello to the listeners at home. It's quite an honor to have you on.
Appreciate it. Gambling God, aka GG, aka Mr. 24/7. I'll never miss a day, no matter what, no matter what's going on in my life. I'll never miss a day. The VIPs are here for winners daily. That's why I'm here. Love DubClub to death. Been with DubClub since early 2022. Put up with all of my crap, all my drama that I try to push out. Love you guys, and you just elevated me to a bigger and better capper, and the future is bright.
Wow, I've got goosebumps over here in
Shiny
the
and
DubClub
bright.
studio. I've got goosebumps in DCTV HQ. Mike, you're an inspiration. You are truly one of the hardest working men in the business, and I'm glad we get to do this live. We're running a special, so if you're listening right now and you're interested in being like Mike, as they say, signing up, starting to work with DubClub as a capper, we're running a special where if you sign up and start selling before Cyber Monday, you're eligible for some fun prizes. So there's my little ad read. We got the 75% off for the gambling god as well.
I need that shirt. I need a hoodie. You guys have a hoodie?
We'll feed you. We will
Nice.
feed you,
I
my
need
friend.
a hoodie. I need it. I need a new shirt, new hoodie.
Swag drop coming soon. You got the Trojans gear on right now. We'll get to that game before long, but let's get started in the heartland of the Big Ten, the Dairy State, Madison, Wisconsin, for a rivalry showdown between the Golden Gophers of Minnesota and the Badgers of Wisconsin. Wisconsin opened as a 2-point favorite. The total is sitting at a very Big Ten number of 51.5. This is a rivalry game, playing for Paul Bunyan's axe. Mike, get us started. Do you have any action in this game, or what are you looking for in this particular matchup?
So these are one of the rare Big Ten games that I don't have much on because just both teams are just crap to me. But if I had to play anything, I would definitely lean the under. I don't see two teams scoring that much. Wisconsin, I think, has been a big disappointment this year. So if I had to lean, I would lean more the under, if anything. But I think at home, maybe just throw a little lunch bag money on Wisconsin.
Love it. This is a perfect start to the show. It is rivalry week in the Big Ten and across college football. This is a real rivalry. I just looked this up. This is the 134th meeting of these two proud flagship members of the Big Ten Conference. It's got to be one of the most played games in all of Division I college football.
Right, yeah. Definitely.
They used to play for the slab of bacon. Now they play for Paul Bunyan's axe. Got to keep it kosher, I guess. Slightly different. Still gets that Midwest charm. Right. And here's a fun fact for you. Drop this at the Thanksgiving table if you don't mind. All-time series, 134th matchup. Wisconsin leads by 1 game. So Minnesota has an opportunity to knot this one up at 63 apiece to go along with those 8 ties all time.
Love it.
Clearly a very evenly matched rivalry, historically at least. And it has been over the past 10 years, really since P.J. Fleck got to Minnesota. You know, it's been since 2018, Minnesota has won 3, Wisconsin has won 3. Before that, Wisconsin was absolutely dominant in this rivalry.
Yeah, Wisconsin is usually known for the punch-in-the-face type of defense and all that, but it's just, I don't know. They've just been so off this year and then getting smoked by Nebraska last week.
Something's different in Madison this year. I mean, it was very controversial when they fired Paul Chryst not too long ago. He had a lot of success at his alma mater. They bring in Luke Fickell. He's in year 2, sitting at 5-6. What do you think, Mike? Is he the answer, or are they going to be looking for another head coach in a year or two?
I think they'll be looking for another head coach for sure. Yep.
I know you're on Wisconsin in this one in the home game. Not a huge play for you. I actually, I'm going to be on the other side of this one. I really like Minnesota as a team overall. I think they've improved a lot. They're very balanced. Good defense, good tailback. Quarterback's a sound decision maker, gets the ball out on time. Got some playmakers on the outside. Got a good tight end. Feels like kind of the quintessential, slightly above average Big Ten team. 7 or 8 wins. You don't really want to run into them in a bowl game. And I think Wisconsin's bad. Yeah, if I was the lines maker on this one, even though it's senior day in Madison, I would have Minnesota as a pretty comfortable favorite, probably 4 or 5 points.
Yeah.
So the fact I can get them out as a dog, I'm rolling with the Gophers.
Yeah, they show these little flashes where you think they're there, and then it's just they just can't finish. They can't put 4 quarters together.
You're talking about the Gophers or the Badgers?
Minnesota.
Yes. I mean, the best win this year is probably USC at home. USC's not very good, right? Exactly. They gave Penn State a great game at home last week. Couldn't pull it out, to your point. They beat Illinois on the road. I just think they're a much better team than Wisconsin, who I know they gave Oregon a scare, but, I mean, Wisconsin is not a team I'd feel good betting on. So I'm rolling with the Gophers in the Friday morning edition of the Battle for Paul Bunyan's Axe. Interesting. I don't think they've historically played that game on Friday. It's on CBS. What's your view on Black Friday football and college football, Mike?
I love it. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be tuned into the NFL game too. I don't know why they're throwing in one NFL game. Well, I know why, money, but yeah, I'll be locked in. No work, just GG work as usual. So I'll be locked in from morning to night.
Yeah, it feels like the NFL is coming for every single slot there is on the calendar.
Christmas. They're ruining the NBA and Christmas.
They stole the Christmas from the NBA. They're stealing Black Friday from college football. Yep. No one is safe from Goodell's talons.
No.
All right, let's keep
get rid of Thursday night football. I'll say that.
Really? Is that your take of the day?
Oh yeah, Thursday. I love the 2 Monday night games. The way that they're doing it too, like an hour or two before, and they're mixing it in together. I love that.
Yeah.
We'll see if that ends up holding up, but
we will indeed. All right, let's stick with the Friday action. This is a Friday night game. Another real rivalry, bad blood rivalry. If Alex comes popping out of nowhere, I assume it's because he wants to defend his hometown Iowa Hawkeyes. Nebraska.
I love this game.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Nebraska, coming off a nice win, has clinched bowl eligibility. Iowa sitting at 7-4. They are a 5.5-point favorite at home. It's a night game at Kinnick Stadium. This is a real nasty rivalry. Some may call it the battle for the Heroes Trophy. Some may call it the good old Farmageddon. 5.5-point favorite. The total is sitting there at 39.5, so not a lot of offense expected. It's going to be cold. High of 22 degrees. By the time the sun goes down, it's probably low to mid-teens. Mike, I'll let you get the first word, but I know Alex coming live to us from the Hawkeye State is going to want to say something at some point in this one.
So, I mean, it's definitely a look ahead, a couple days away, but as of right now, I'd probably say Iowa minus 5.5 will end up being my play of the day Friday. It's
really
too early to call now, but I love that. It's definitely going to be a 5-unit play for me. I like the under 39.5. I love Caleb Johnson, second in the nation for rushing.
You're just playing to the crowd there, Mike. I mean, you're going to get the head nod from Sheer like crazy on that one.
Yeah, who's your team, Lewis? So I can circle that.
Yeah, Buckeyes. Buckeyes and the Hoosiers.
Iowa 5-1 at home. And like I said, Caleb Johnson's a beast. If it was for Genty, he'd be the best running back in the nation. So yeah, under the lights, I love Iowa at home.
Mike, we're going to be enemies today, I'm afraid. We're like totally on opposite ends of the first two matchups, at least. I hate doing this because Iowa is a really hard place to play, especially at night.
Exactly. Yep.
And especially on this Black Friday. It's going to be packed to the gills. With that being said, 5.5 points is like my favorite dog spot. I picked that one up from Dorm Room Degenerates when he was on the program a number of months ago, and I made a lot of money taking 5.5 points as a dog. Iowa, the quarterback situation is totally out of control. I feel like this is always a close game. Nebraska has gone into Kinnick and won 3 times as a member of the Big Ten. Most recent matchup at Kinnick, they won by a score. I bet the line was probably similar in that game as well. I don't know if they're going to win, but I think it's going to be like a field goal sort of game. So I like getting 5.5. I think the line actually is down at 4.5 most places. So I like the CLV too, closing Lou Valley if you don't mind. But I think this is going to be a great football game. I fucking love this rivalry. They play for the Heroes Trophy, and there's some real bad blood between these two big, proud state university schools. I know Alex feels very passionate about Iowa and Nebraska. So without further ado, let's hand it off to our native Hawkeye to get the last word on this matchup.
Well, Lou, honestly, you're right. As much as what Gigi is saying is making me hyped up and getting me super excited for this game, I am a little bit nervous that it's going to be close because, 2 years ago they came into Kinnick and beat us, and it was a close game. Last year, won on a field goal. It's always close with these guys, and as much as I hate Nebraska, maybe more than Iowa State, actually, it's starting to creep up as to our more hated rivalry. I will be ass in seat, by the way. I will be in Kinnick Stadium, so I'm bringing my energy to the game. I'm still going to do what I've done all year, which has made me a ton of money so far. I'm going to be taking Caleb Johnson anytime touchdown and Iowa money line, and I'm going to parlay those two. It's going to get me to plus money. It's been about as free as it gets, and with the exception of 4 weeks. Other than that, it's going to be close. I kind of like the under. I don't think Patrick Mahomes Jr. can air it out against the Hawkeyes on the road. So I think everyone's going to be pounding the rock, and I'm gonna stay on my method of Caleb Johnson and Iowa money line.
First of all, congrats, Alex, on making a ton of money. That's really exciting for you.
I wish I could play a prop in Massachusetts.
Get on. Who's the governor of Massachusetts?
Yeah, she.
Who?
Nope.
I don't know.
Healy. No comment on that.
If you're listening to the program, Governor Healy, legalize it.
No, she ain't gonna do shit.
Alex, while we still have you with us, cornerback, I forget his name, he's a stud on Iowa, hanging up the cleats, not playing in the rivalry game, getting healthy, getting ready for the NFL draft, and not playing in Farmageddon. What's your read on that? Is that like, okay, attaboy, thanks for all your service? Or is it like, what the F, dude? You got to finish out your career the right way.
Well, above all else, it's always next man up, no matter what. But you can look at examples like that, or you can look at examples like Nick Jackson and Jay Higgins, who both came back when they could have potentially entered the draft last year. They're playing all the way through their season. A couple senior leaders that are somehow not up for the Butkus Award, but that's a whole other that's an entire hour. We send too many guys to the league, and when people get hurt, their draft stock goes down. I think he's protecting himself, so no bad blood for Jamari Harris. He's a stud. He did a lot for the Iowa program. However, I'm just never going to give you the same type of pride and energy that I would give to a Jay Higgins, who could have been a first or second round pick last year and played all the way through the season and came back this year to up his stock, which has happened. So I don't think it matters too much because our DB room is very deep, and Sebastian Casher will be on the field, who's an absolute dog at the cash position. So I think we'll be all right. Jamari Harris, best of luck to you. I'm sure you're watching right now.
Yeah. Shout out, Jamari.
I ride for the guys that ride for me on game day. So shout out, next man up.
Tough but fair.
The UCLA game was brutal a couple of weeks ago. What were you guys playing your fifth string quarterback? And I was on Iowa too. I'm like, are you shitting me?
A quarterback who played scout team linebacker the previous week. That's where we're at. Yeah.
The announcers were like, yeah, he's a quarterback, but he can't throw. It's like, You should probably try to find a quarterback who has an arm. I don't know.
I'm also a quarterback who can't throw. Yeah.
Sounds very Daniel Jones-esque in
Yeah.
Iowa City.
Oh,
Who's running out of the table? Who's QB1 this week at Kinnick?
It's looking like it could be Marco Lanes, who has like an injured hand, his offhand, his non-throwing hand.
Marco Lane sounds like a bowling alley in Iowa City. Okay, that's not QB1.
He should. That's actually a good idea. He should do that. But it's still not officially declared, so I'm gonna have to keep you guys posted on that.
We are looking for sponsors, so Marco, if you ever do turn up and create a bowling alley, you know where to find us. Slide in the DMs. We are always open to chat. And by the way, you can subscribe to the Gambling Gods DubClub, 75% off
75,
Thanksgiving special. The link is underneath this stream. That's an absolute steal. 75% off.
Iowa,
Yeah.
For me, I don't think it matters who's playing quarterback. I think it's going to be the Johnson show, and defense is going to show up big at home.
That's what we call an RTDB game. Run the damn ball.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's head to a game with a little bit more brand cachet. Thank you, Alex, for joining us. Than even the great Nebraska-Iowa rivalry. If you grew up in the Midwest, you know this game as the game. Michigan, or as the fans from Columbus like to call them, that team up north heads to Columbus, Ohio to face the Ohio State University Buckeyes. The Silver Bullets coming off a very impressive top 5 home victory against Indiana last week. Control their destiny. They win today. They're headed to Indianapolis with a chance to win the Big Ten and candidly be the number 1 seed in the first ever 12-team college football playoff. Their hated rival, the defending national champion Michigan Wolverines, are sitting at 6-5, but no game has more bad blood than this one, and they would love nothing more than to play spoiler in Columbus. This is give me 1 second to confirm. Man, this is a big Wikipedia page, Mike. This is a big-time rivalry. The 120th meeting between these two proud state universities. The line is sitting at -21, Ohio State. It opened at -20.5. The total is at 42.5. Mike, take us away. What do we like in the game 2024 edition?
So I got a couple of reads. So I ended up actually getting 20.5. I mean, if you got 21, I would just buy the half point to make it 20.5, just because I've seen it. I've been screwed so many times on a push. So I got Ohio State -20.5. I think it's going to be a smoke show. They're coming out for revenge. Ohio State team total over 30.5. Michigan State team total under 10.5 -140. I think.
How about all the reads we're getting from this guy? You're giving away way too much action. You're a machine.
I love Will Howard. Like I said, I wish Massachusetts would play our prop because I would be all over Will Howard. I think he's going to be coming out slinging. I think Jeremiah Smith, the freshman, is going to be coming back this week. I think that's what I've seen. So I think it's going to be the Will Howard show. And, yeah, Michigan's done. They got a nice 5-star quarterback, but that's next year.
Already turning the page to 2025 in Ann Arbor. Mike, we got to get you second residence in the great state of Illinois. We got to get you on some player prop action in the college game.
I know.
Talk to us briefly. Let us get inside the brain of a professional, of a capper. When are you deciding when to buy a point? Are you always doing it if the line is moving? Is it around those critical numbers like 21, 10, 7, 14?
Yep. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah.
No,
I think
please.
Because the history that I've had, the times that I've been screwed over, I always try to buy that little point, make it minus. It's worth it, make it -120, -130 just for that.
You know what? If I've learned anything about betting on sports, it's that it's as much about winning and losing on your own terms and being consistent and sticking to it. So if you need that half point to sleep a little easier,
yep.
Don't let the man stop you. Listen to the gambling god himself. I'm actually staying away from this game. So there's a big slate this weekend, and I'm only going to give you 5 plays. This is a very large spread, and I don't love playing games that have these big low 20 spreads.
Yeah.
if anything, I maybe would lean Michigan just because it is a rivalry game, and I
Now,
don't know. It's just a lot of points.
Do you think if Ohio State, I know if Ohio State loses this, right? So if Indiana, of course, or Penn State wins, they're not making the Big Ten championship. Do you think they still sneak in to the playoffs? I think they do, but obviously
That's a
lower
really good
seed.
question. I think probably yes.
You would think
Like,
so, right? Yeah.
there's so
They have a
many.
great resume. So many top teams have crap resumes. I mean, look at Texas. Like, so many teams have awful resumes. Where Ohio State has a really good resume compared to
They've
the
got
top.
2 very good wins at
Yeah,
Penn
yeah.
State and at home versus Indiana. Their
Hmm.
one loss is against the number 1 team in the
Yeah.
country by a point
Hmm.
on the road. So, like, there's a reason why they are number 2 in the country. I think
Yeah.
even if they lose, they will be in the field. I don't expect them to lose this game. I think
No.
Michigan is very down and Ohio State is loaded. But I do expect it to be probably close, and I just hate sweating out these like 3-score spreads, so I'm sitting this one
Yeah.
out. I think Ryan Day is like licking his chops. The big knock on
He
him
has to,
throughout
yeah.
his career at Ohio State is he's lost to Michigan too many
Mhm.
times. You're not allowed to be the head coach at Ohio State if you lose to Michigan a lot. He's lost 3 straight. Harbaugh kind of had his number in this game. Changing of the guard in Michigan with Sharon Moore running the show there now. So Ryan Day needs this win. Forget about the college football playoff and win the Big Ten. He
Mhm.
needs to beat Michigan. That's non-negotiable in Columbus.
Mhm.
I was listening to an interview today. He was like, besides my dad dying and a few other things, the worst days of my life are when we lose to Michigan, and
I
he's done it
believe it.
3 years in a row. So
Yeah.
I would say it's a look-ahead spot because they're looking towards the Big Ten title, but I don't believe that for half a second.
No. I
This
think they're
game
gonna
is
be
a
playing this
365-day game for Ohio State.
for sure. Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Mike. You wanted to get a word in.
No. Yeah. I think they're playing this like they would be hyped up for any game. Really, they need this one bad. I think they're going to come out slinging. I think my favorite play is definitely the Ohio State team total over 30.5. Because, like I said, they're going to be putting up points. Michigan's defense not like isn't anything close to like it was last year. They lost a lot of guys on both sides of the field. So yeah, I think it's going to be not even going to be close, really.
Love it.
Just to be
All right,
safe
let
by that point.
Bye. Sleep easy at night. Come on, life's too
Yeah,
short.
right.
We're not trying. I'm losing my hair enough as is. We don't need to accelerate that path. Okay, let's head to another Big Ten rivalry game. Old school game. Man, this is impressive. The 118th meeting between these two schools. The Land of Lincoln Trophy, my home state of Illinois. At Wrigley Field this edition. They've played that game at Wrigley a few times. I went to the Ohio State Northwestern game at Wrigley a few weeks ago. Terrific place to watch a college football game.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're playing for Lincoln's hat. Another one with a lot of parity in this series. Illinois leads 57, 55, and 5 all time. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty even the past, 10 years or so. A lot of orange, a lot of purple. Northwestern's down this year. Illinois is up. It's a 7.5 point favorite. Illinois sitting at a 7.5 point favorite. Totals at 43.5. Mike, got any read on this one? What are you looking at in the battle for Lincoln's hat?
I think this is another small lean for me, just like the earlier game. If I had to play anything, it would have to be Illinois 7.5. I've watched them a lot more. Yeah, this is almost like a stay away game for me, honestly. I could see.
Finally,
both
we're on the
teams.
same side, Mike. I mean, this is. I thought we were going to be duking it out the whole program. I like Illinois in this one. Illinois is a good football team. They remind me
Yeah.
very much of Minnesota. I know they lost to Minnesota at home, but like good quarterback, good defense, good run game. Got enough playmakers on the offensive side of the ball to make some noise. Northwestern, you can't say the same about them. I understand why they're a relatively large dog, but I think Illinois is going to roll in this one. It's not really going to be a home field advantage for Northwestern either. There's probably be more Illinois people at the game because it's
for
in
sure,
Chicago.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I'm comfortable with Illinois winning by multiple scores. I got it at 7.5. Do you ever buy it down to 7 in this case? Like, what we were just talking about that critical number and buying half a
Yeah.
point. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I probably if I did end up doing a 1 unit lean on it, I probably would just buy it to 7. But yeah, like you said, Northwestern is god awful, so I don't even think you would even have to bother at really.
Love it. Okay, let's go to the afternoon slate.
Right.
This one is less of a traditional rivalry, but I know that Maryland would like it to be more of a rivalry. Maryland heads to Happy Valley. This is a very important game for the Nittany Lions if they want to have remain in the driver's seat to make the college football playoff. They're also still in the conversation to go to Indy for the title game if Ohio State foot faults against Michigan. These two teams, this will be the 48th meeting, not super tight. Penn State leads the all-time series 43-3-1.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
And Vegas is expecting this one to be decidedly one-sided. Penn State is a 24.5-point favorite at home. Total is sitting at 50.5. Anything you like in this one, Mike?
What did you say you got the spread at?
24.5 is what I'm seeing on
Okay, yeah,
ESPN.com.
Okay. Yeah, so I got Penn State minus 25, and it's not even a buy a point game for me. I think they win by 40 plus. I could see them smoking them. Again, if I didn't live in Massachusetts, I would love to play our prop Tyler Warren. I think he's the best tight end in the nation. I think he goes off. They have the greatest home field advantage in college football. I really want them to get a home field game in the first round during a whiteout, maybe even possibly snow too. That'd be more fun. But yeah, it's all Penn State, start to finish.
Amazing. Yeah, this is another one I'm staying away because the number is so big and weird stuff happens in the fourth quarter of college football games, especially on senior day, right? Yeah. If they're up by 4 scores in the fourth quarter, expect them to empty the bench and try to get some of the walk-ons some burn. Penn State's got a great walk-on culture, and weird stuff happens when you let those animals in the game, with all due respect as a former Division I walk-on. So this should be a fun one. I love your commentary on Penn State hosting a playoff game. Based on the bracket last night, the first-round matchup would be Indiana at Penn State. That would be a whale of a matchup.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you like the idea of having like conference foes playing in the first round of the playoffs, or would you rather see it be SEC, Big Ten, or a different conference against a different conference?
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, it adds more juice to it that it is a conference game. I'm just, either way, I'm so excited. I wish USC had a chance, but yeah, I'm psyched.
Not this year for the Trojans.
Yeah, I wanted Tennessee to get a home game too. They have a great home field advantage, but Penn State, I'm going to end up taking them no matter who they play first round if they're at home.
Love it. And this is crucial. It's another team where if they lose, you could still potentially see them making the field, but if they want that home field advantage, they got to go 11-1, which means they need to beat the Terps. But let me not screw up that beautiful segue that you laid out for me on a tee.
Oh, jeez.
We're headed to Tinseltown. Show off the sweatshirt, Mike. One of Troy's favorite sons is on the program specifically for this big-time matchup between the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and the Men of Troy. This is another fun rivalry. I don't have the Wikipedia page pulled up, so you got to give me a second with it. USC is a 7.5. Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, I'm just so off USC, so I haven't even been. I wish I was more fired up because one of my good friends is a huge ND game. We always do a $100 bet every year, but he asked me the other day. I'm like, I know I got up, but I'm not confident, so I should just Venmo you that $100 now.
Just straight up, you're not even playing the spread.
No, no. I'm taking
just
the
man to man.
7.5 for sure. I'm taking the 7.5.
Got it. Okay, so 7.5 is the spread. 51.5. Forget about your buddy for a second. Just the gambling god and his subs. Are you playing this game? We know you're a big USC fan and backer. How does that affect whether you're going to bet on them, if at all? And do you like this spot?
I don't. If I had to lean, I would do a 1 unit at USC plus 7.5, but I think ND is just too good. Miller Moss completely screwed us this year. Now he's probably transferring. I don't really like this Maivia, the new quarterback that we have. They have nobody. They have Woody Marks, their running back, but I'm just so down. But I'm used to it. I should be used to it with USC. Uh, I thought last year was the year, and then we played ND and Caleb Williams threw freaking 20 interceptions that game, and I don't know. ND has our number right now, so I think ND is going to come out smoking. I hope not. Like I said, I would lean because that .5 really intrigues me. 7.5 and is a rivalry game, so you can kind of throw the records out the window for this game. But I don't have that much faith.
You said Miller Moss let us down this year. Unpack that. I've watched a good amount of USC football, and he seems to be getting beat up a lot and playing pretty well.
Yeah.
I was shocked when they benched him. What's your read on, was that the right move, and why didn't it work at USC? The season started with so much promise, beating LSU in week 1, and it just went nowhere fast.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was attitude with him. He really didn't care. From what I've seen, sure seemed like it. His head wasn't in the game. I mean, that Penn State game just crushed him too. Michigan before that, we had that game. So who knows where our season would be if we beat Michigan. And then Penn State, same thing, had that game, lost in overtime. So I don't know what ended up happening to them. It just really frustrates me with USC. Not trying to go on a whole USC rant because I could.
No, please. That's why you're on the program, brother.
If we had I've said it to my buddy, one of my other good friends is a USC fan too. If we had Caleb Williams and we had that USC offense from last year and we had USC's defense of this year, we'd be the #1 team in the nation. But we don't. So I love that we have a defense that knows how to tackle the person with the ball. That's really awesome. That's fun to see. But they're just a lost cause, and I have no faith in them next year either.
Really? Why is that?
You think until August does happen, and then I will. But as of right now, I have none.
Then you'll be right back on the pony.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, but as of right now, I'm saying I have no faith in them. We've had a few commitments already flip, so I do like Lynn. I like Lynn, like I said, the defensive coordinator from UCLA. I like Lynn a lot. I think, like I said, they improved the defense completely. As were previous years, the last 2 years, if Caleb didn't score or if the offense didn't score a touchdown on every single drive, we were screwed. So, they can't put it together at all.
USC is literally a handful or two of plays away from the narrative being totally flipped.
Oh,
they've lost 5 games this year, but every game by a possession.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, you lose by 3. Minnesota, you lose by a score on the road. Maryland, you lose by 1 on the road, a game that they totally choked away.
Yeah, that was.
Washington, you lose by 5 on the road. It's like you're sitting at 6-5, happy to be bowl eligible, but this could be a totally different game with a tackle here, an inch there.
Right, but it's not. So you just look at the resume and see all those teams you lost. It's like, how do you lose to Maryland? How do you? It's just so frustrating. But now we're gonna be playing in the freaking Cheesy Gordita Crunch Bowl, freaking December, whenever, 27th at noontime against Boston College.
Well, now you're making me hungry, Mike, so let's move to the next game. Rutgers at Michigan State. It feels like the Big Ten is trying to kind of make this a rivalry game, but it really isn't. These are two teams. Rutgers doesn't have a big-time rival. Michigan State's big-time rival is Michigan, and we all know Michigan doesn't view Michigan State as their big-time rival. Exactly right.
Little brother.
Michigan State, this is a big game. They're trying to get to bowl eligibility. Sitting at 5-6 at home. They're on a 1.5 favorite. Total's pretty high at 47.5. It's going to be a cold game in East Lansing. Anything you like in this one, Mike? Take it away.
Yeah. I like Michigan State a lot. Pretty much what you said. They're fighting for their lives. They're trying to get bowl eligible. And same thing I said earlier. I think Michigan State has shown a little bit of flashes here and there. I was watching that Boston College game a lot, and they show flashes. They just can't pull away. 8-2 last 10 between the two meetings. So I know they lost last year to Rutgers, but I like Michigan State at home to clinch that playoff berth. Not
Playoff berth.
Bowl berth,
That would
bro.
be news breaking. Bowl berth. They may be playing somebody in the Cheesy Gordita Crunch Wrap Bowl.
Yes.
This is like the Cheesy Gordita Crunch Wrap rivalry game of the week here in the Big Ten Conference.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, we're just pushing free ads and sponsorships left and right.
It.
The possibilities are limitless. We're in a fight again, Mike. I'm afraid. I really like Rutgers in this one. I think Rutgers is a good football team. I've been on them a lot this year. They've made me look smart at times. They've made me look like an idiot at times. They got a lot of dudes on the team. Good defense, real good tailback, well coached, experienced. Quarterbacks played a lot of snaps. Michigan State is all over the map week to week. I don't think they're as talented or as deep of a crew as Rutgers. So, again, the fact that I get Rutgers with points, I'm taking them. This feels a lot like the Minnesota at Wisconsin line that we talked about at the start of the show. I'm rolling with the Scarlet Knights. I don't love, having road teams on senior day, but I think Rutgers is a substantially better team than Michigan State. And as such, I'm willing to suck it up and take the points.
Yeah. I just look at it as Michigan State has a little bit more to play for because they're, like I said, they're trying to get that bowl eligibility. So I think that'll hopefully light a fire under their ass and play for a little bit more, especially at home too.
And Michigan State's a good team. From a coaching perspective, Jonathan Smith is excellent. East Lansing is a tough place to play. Rutgers has clinched bowl eligibility. It's worth noting. They lost a freaking heartbreaker against Illinois last week on the last play of the game. Never see that in as many years I've watched football, where they miss a kick, but the coach froze them. So now instead of trying to kick it again, Illinois goes for the Hail Mary or the, try to make it happen. And all of a sudden they're dancing in the end zone, and Greg Schiano looks like, somebody just kicked his dog off a bridge or something like that. So
go figure. Yeah.
I think they're going to be pissed off, and I think they're the better team. So I will take the points. Sprinkle the money line if that's your thing. You can certainly get it at plus money. I find it somewhere, given that they're a 1.5 dog. Speaking of dogs, wow, what a segue.
Yeah, I like that.
The Bulldogs of Fresno State are bowl eligible. They're headed to Pasadena to play UCLA, who is not bowl eligible after losing to USC in the Battle of LA last week. Your squad, Mike. Congrats to you on that victory in the Victory Bell game. I would say this isn't really a rivalry game. The boys from the Central Valley of California, Fresno State, will probably have a chip on their shoulder. Mountain West, they always play Power 4 teams tough. They're getting, it started as a 9.5 point spread. They were a 9.5 point dog. It's down to 8 on ESPN.com. This won't be cold. It's going to be 74 degrees and sunny in Southern California. Mike, I know you're an SC guy and not a UCLA guy, but tell me, is there anything that's kind of piquing your interest in this game in South California?
Not really. If I had to lean, I would definitely be Fresno State, although UCLA has definitely shown flashes the last month and a half. They started out the season looking god-awful, but if I had to lean towards anything, it would be Fresno State. I can never put my money on UCLA. I can't. I haven't yet this year, and I won't.
Do you view UC as an SC fan with your SC hat or your SC hoodie on? Do you view UCLA as like a real rivalry for you, or what's the number one rivalry for you as an SC fan?
ND. I think for the last couple of years, even though they're not even a conference anymore, I hated Utah because they always got us. But as of now, it's definitely ND. I never really viewed UCLA as a big threat, even with the Josh Rosen days and all that. They're just, ND all day for me as a number one rival.
That's interesting. I when I was at Stanford, it felt like SC Stanford was a good rivalry. At least I always look forward to beating SC.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're in different conferences now. I graduated in 2019. My last season was 2018, where USC beat us in the Pac-12 title game.
Okay, yeah.
Sam Darnold year. We beat them in 2015 in the Pac-12 title game.
Was that the pick six game? I thought it was not sure. No. What game was the pick six game? Actually, I was probably in my first apartment, so that might have been, yeah, this would be 4 kids. 2000, 2011, I think it was. I think Sherman was on the team or something. I'll never forget that Stanford game. It just crushed me.
Harbaugh, I mean, people forget, I believe they were like, I don't know, 28-point dogs, and
Oh yeah,
Harbaugh beat the Pete Carroll-led
broke our streak.
Trojans. That was the beginning of the Harbaugh rise to glory in
Yeah.
big-time college and NFL football. Before that, he was head coach at University of San Diego. And that was the beginning of like a good 10-year rivalry, Stanford SC. The David Shaw, Jim Harbaugh, Stanford, the Clay Helton, USC Trojans.
Yeah.
And we had your number more than we didn't. But obviously, you guys
yeah.
won out on the conference realignment sweepstakes.
I mean, I miss Pete Carroll. I wish he would come back. I think he's pretty much banned from USC though.
Yeah, there wasn't an NIL that was allowed when he was there, but he deployed it anyway.
No. Yeah. Reggie Bush buying his grandmother's house, and they took away his Heisman. But I digress.
The world has changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
We're having a lot of fun, and we're running short on time, so let's keep moving to the Saturday night doubleheader. This is a fun rivalry game. The Old Oaken Bucket between Purdue and Indiana. The fight for college football supremacy in the Hoosier State. This is the 126th meeting between the Hoosiers and the Boilermakers. It's been played every year since 1920. Mike and I were not around when that rivalry started. Purdue leads all time 77, 42, and 6. They've won the last 3 matchups. They're definitely not favored to win on Saturday, though. They are a 29-point underdog. Total is sitting at 56.5. This is one of the cooler trophies in a conference with a lot of great trophies. Mike, what do you think? Who's walking off the field with the Old Oaken Bucket on Saturday, and are they covering the spread?
So I'm kind of with you with your take with Penn State. This is just I mean, Indiana needs to win to stay alive, but it's just way too much. If I had to pick one, it would be Indiana because Purdue with 1 win is one of the worst teams in the nation. But I think this is going to be my stay away game for me. But if I had to, it would. You can't bet on Purdue. I don't care how many points they have.
Friendly reminder: you don't got to bet every game on the card.
No,
Trust your instincts. It's okay to lay off. I'm with you, buddy. Too many points. I think Indiana's going to win by a lot, whether it's 25 or 31. I don't think they care. I know most people don't care. The one thing that makes you want to bet Purdue is like this is their Super Bowl for real. They don't want to finish the year 1-11. They want to keep it competitive against a rivalry that they really don't like. And if they could play spoiler and knock Indiana out of the playoffs, I mean, you'd have a lot of happy alum in West Lafayette. That's for sure. And Indiana, this is an elimination game. Like I don't think a 2-loss Indiana team is making the 12-team playoff. A 2-loss Ohio State team is, though. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think their committee is just trying to find any way possible to get Alabama in there too, I'm sure. So this would be their way to be like, all right, they're in. Here's
It's
Bama.
pathetic. They could lose to Auburn and they'd still be like the first team out. Why do you think Alabama gets the benefit of the doubt? They just got blown out by 3 scores to a 500 team.
I don't know. I think they look at it as that it's Alabama, the longevity, the history, even without Nick Saban. SEC bias for sure, but yeah, it's annoying. I'm sick of it.
Saban ain't there anymore. I'll say that. And
Exactly.
The new world of college football where guys can get paid, I think you're going to see a lot more parity in all the conferences, especially in the SEC, where for a long time I think, a lot of talent got accumulated on a few rosters. I don't think that's going to be easy to do in this new era.
Well, every year for years now, SEC was number 1 conference in the nation. I think the Big Ten's the number 1 conference this year. I mean, they have the 2 best teams in the country.
And 3 of the top 5. So,
right,
I mean...
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Georgia's not Georgia. I think it's Big Ten all day.
we will see in December and January.
True.
That is the great
Waiting.
part of this new 12-team playoff format. The talking heads aren't going to be the ones to decide. We're going to settle it between the white lines. It's going to be a lot of fun matchups, I'm sure, between great Big Ten and SEC schools. But before we get to the playoffs, we got one more regular season game. Two old Pac-12 rivals in the Pacific Northwest. This is the 117th meeting between Oregon and Washington. Washington leads the all-time series 63-48 with 5 ties. Washington is on a 3-game win streak, including last year's Pac-12 title game. This was the rivalry of the really country last year. They played an instant classic in the regular season where Washington won. They played a very close Pac-12 championship game on a neutral site in Las Vegas, which Washington won and earned them their berth in the college football playoff, where they ultimately lost in the national championship game. Dan Lanning's had some problems beating Washington. Obviously, there's a new head football coach in Seattle. Hello, Tom. How are you?
What's up?
Oh, we lost Mike. You scared him away. No, Mike is back. Don't worry. We can finish the segment. Prop the Mike guys are coming on right after us. That was a lot of preamble. Oregon is a 19.5-point favorite at home. The total is sitting at 50.5. Anything you like in this one, Mike?
I like the under. I got the under at 51. Washington was definitely my most profitable team last year. Same thing as Michigan, though. They're not the same team as last year. They look awful. I don't think they're going to score much against Oregon. Oregon, the number 7 defense in the nation. I think it's just going to be a gross, low-scoring game. So I'm hammering the under.
You heard it here first. This is a stay-away game for me. We're running out of time, so I'll keep things brief. It should be interesting. Oregon's going to Indy regardless of what happens. They're going to make the playoffs regardless of what happens. I do think
Ted
Lanning's a
Johnson might be back
psychopath.
Saturday too. Ted Johnson, the number 1 receiver, he should be back. So I think they're going to get the ball rolling and see what happens.
The thing that I like about Oregon this year is I think they're just dialed in every week. Like, it's really hard to keep college football players dialed in every week, and Dan Lanning seems to really get the guys ready week after week, road, away, it doesn't matter. I think this is probably a personal one for him, given that Washington kept him out of the playoff last year and denied them a Pac-12 championship in the last year of the conference. So I expect them to be up. Wouldn't be shocked at all if they covered this number. I'm not playing it because it is such a big number, but it should be a fun game in the Pacific Northwest. First time meeting as Big Ten conference brethren. It was an unbelievable show, Mike. We got to hand over the keys to the Prop the Mike guys. I'm sure Alex will be here to cut us off in a second. But before we do, we need to hear your play of the day. Give it to the people. We've been waiting 58 minutes to hear it.
Golden Knights, Colorado Avalanche, over 6.5 goals. Goals. Hammer it. Might be done in the mid-second period.
You heard it here first. If you want all his plays, click the link in bio. 75% off. What a steal. Mike, the gambling god, an absolute pleasure having you on DCTV. If you want to be like Mike, if you want to start selling with DubClub, now's a great time to get going. We're running specials. If you sign up before Cyber Monday, you're eligible for a lot of fun prizes. Comment in the chat. I will personally reach out to you if you want to get started. And Alex, thanks for hosting as always. Go Hawkeyes, and tell the Prop the Mike guys to have the best stream of their entire life. I'll be listening, and you all should too.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
We're thankful for you, Mike. We're thankful for all the listeners. We're thankful for DubClub.
What a close from those guys. Appreciate it, Lou. Appreciate it, Gambling God. You heard it from him. Sign up. The link is in our bio if you want to become a creator on DubClub. And obviously, right underneath the stream, you can get all of Gambling God's plays. And Lou teased it a little bit, but we have the Prop the Mike guys coming on here. They are unbelievably hot. We ran a promo for them the other day. They are crushing NBA props right now. I have not seen anybody that's stacking more units than them on NBA props. It's all backed by data. These guys are pros. They're going to have a 50% off link underneath, and I think they might be doing a couple little giveaways here. So Stay tuned. I'm going to bring them in right now. Looks like they're both in here. Tom and Dave, what's going on, fellas? How are we?
What's up, Alex? How you doing?
I think Dave, I don't know if I can
muted,
hear you
Dave?
there.
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you, guys. How you doing,
All right,
Alex?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm ready to tail. You know me. It's feast week. I bet the NBA personally. I know Lewis and Gambling God were obviously a little more college football oriented, but there's too much NBA action for me not to. So I will be tailing whatever you guys throw out there blindly. But if you guys want all of their plays separate from this show, their 50% off link will be right underneath, and I think they're going to be running some specials. So keep in tune with these guys and take it away, fellas.
Hey, Alex. Before you leave, we were debating in the Discord what's everybody's favorite Thanksgiving side. What do you go with?
Man,
It's a tough one.
it's so basic, but the way that my mom prepares mashed potatoes, I think I'm gonna have to go mashed potatoes. I don't need a ton of mashed potatoes. Stuffing would be a close second for me, but I'm a man of garlic. I'm a man of cheese. I'm a man of those items. So mashed potatoes are my number one. So what about you guys? What were your answers?
I was
I feel
the
like it's
same.
the only day of the year. Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
No, a little mashed potato and a little stuffing together, I think, is a
Yeah.
nice combo.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah. The stuffing is like I feel like I never eat stuffing any other day of the year. So like that's the one for me.
Yeah, and anybody who hates cranberry sauce is an enemy of mine. Cranberry sauce
Yeah.
belongs.
They can
Ooh.
get out of
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Giving
Yeah,
meal.
All right, man.
All
We'll
right.
let you go.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. Let's do this. Prop the mic. We're live on DubClub TV for the third week. We came in hot last week. We've continued the hot streak through to this Thanksgiving Eve, where we've got a massive 14-game slate to dissect. The PTM Discord is up over 55 units this month, 41 units of which are from this all-time great NBA run we've been on. So come join us. Get in on all the fun. Use code PTM50 to get 50% off the PTM Discord. We are ready to bring some more heat tonight. But before we get started, also just want to remind everyone of the special promo we've got going with props.cash to give PTM viewers 50% off their first month of props.cash using the same PTM50 discount code. You're going to see us using it all through this podcast and every podcast we put out. So take advantage of the opportunity to try it out for yourself. Limited time only, exclusive offer. It's usually 25%. We got it at 50% off. So use that code PTM50 and get your first month of props.cash half off. You ready to do this, Dave?
I am. I'm not sure if you noticed at the start of the show, Alex kind of teased a little extra giveaway we're doing, which I haven't even told you about. I just decided to do this
I
last
didn't know
minute.
what was going on there.
All right, so I decided, to keep people alert and on their toes. 5 times during this show, we're going to give out a code that has a single redemption. So go to DubClub and we'll give out the code. It's going to be related to the plays that we're giving out.
All right.
So 5 different times during the show. So help
like
remind me if we're like halfway through the show and I forgot to give out any of them, just remind me.
I'll ring the bell.
But then you guys race over to DubClub and redeem that code. It's 1 month for $1. That's it. So essentially giving away 5 memberships in this
done,
next
Dave.
hour. Let's go.
Done. I like
Let's
being
go.
surprised. That was a nice surprise on Thanksgiving
That's
Eve. I like that.
Really, my goal is to just surprise you on every one of these
Just to keep me
pods.
surprised and delighted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. All right, so let's get going. We got a huge slate, 14 games. I think the only 2 teams that aren't playing are the Bucks and the Celtics.
Yeah.
So we basically came up with picks for 10 of the, I think 9 or 10 of the games. So we got a lot to cover, so let's just dive right into it. First game we're going to talk about is the Bulls Magic. Bulls are 8-11 on the season. Magic are 12-7. Magic are 8-0 at home, despite being without Banchero for most of the last month or so. Magic are 10-point favorites at home. Totals 224 in this game. So let's start with play that we put on the props.cash blog article this morning. Kobe White. What do you like for Kobe White?
So he was popping, as we like to say, every way possible. Points, rebounds, and assists were all popping for Kobe White in this matchup against the Magic. A little bit surprising, right? Like, the DVPs aren't the best. And this Magic team, defensively, just you watch them, they seem to be at the top of all the defensive metrics. But you look at guards, and they seem to be doing pretty well against this Orlando Magic team.
Yeah.
So the play we ended up putting out in the props.cash insight blog was Kobe White points and assists. So if we break it down to its component parts here, the points line at 16.5. He's done that in 7 of his last 10 games. 73rd percentile scorer, so really nice. That's what he does when he's out there. The assist line was low at 3.5, also 7 of his last 10. 43rd percentile, like we just said, not really his game. DVPs, not great, but let's look at those hit rates. So he's projected, for 33 minutes tonight. If we slide that minutes projection, I think if we go up to, say, 32, give it a little cushion there. Look at that. 11 straight games clearing his points and assists line of 20 and a half. You can get that minus 122 on FanDuel. It went up on DraftKings a little bit, but you can get that in at 20 and a half. That is a beautiful, beautiful chart for Mr. Kobe White.
Yeah, it's that's what I like to see. I like to see one book at like minus 122 FanDuel, and then DraftKings is already moving up at minus 105 for 21.5. So not going to be too long until this one probably moves up across all books. Yeah. So go lock that one in.
Yes, sir.
All right. What's the next pick that we got in this game?
Same deal for the other guard, for one of the other guards for the Bulls, Josh Giddey. Points, rebounds, and assists, all popping out in our model here. So I don't know. Do you want to look at each of the components? You want to just look at the PRA for him? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really settle on whether or not we would play Giddey. So I think we'll just look at each component, right? Points at 10.5.
Yeah, points at 10.5. It's 6 of his last 10 games, middle of the road, 15 DVP, 20th percentile scorer at his position. So not great. The assists and the rebounds are really where Giddey excels. But slide his minutes. He's had a couple. This is why we weren't on it as much. It seemed like Kobe White's minutes were a little bit more consistent. He's got that little dip right there, right?
Yeah, I mean, he started the season off kind of on a positive incline, played up to 33 minutes, then kind of leveled out at 28, and then went through this stretch here where he was playing like mid-20s, had a jump up to 33, and now is back into like the mid-20s. So it kind of feels like you can't really plan for more than like 24 to 26 minutes for Giddey.
Yeah.
Right?
But I think if you slide him up to like 20... 23, 24 minutes.
Yeah, 24. He's a 75% hit rate.
It's not bad.
And he's an excellent guy to put in a builder. 10 points, obviously, you're only getting a 1-point advantage by taking that alt, so that's going to be great value. As the alt lines come out on FanDuel and DraftKings later in the day, you can also probably get him for 9 points, which he's cleared in 14 of 16 games when he plays 24 plus minutes. So I'm thinking some sort of builder on Josh Giddey is probably the way to go, right?
I think so. We're also getting a comment in the chat here. People love his. We spoke about it. I think it was on the last DubClub TV we were on about his 1-3 for Giddey.
That was Alex's contribution to the pod last time, so we might have to incorporate that into a play as well.
He's kept it up too. So maybe a Giddey builder. So we know we like the 1-3. We know we like him at 10 points. You want to take a look at his rebounds and assists?
Yeah, I would go 9 points. You kind of capture a few more games. So if you can get that later in the day, maybe 9 points, 1-3, and then the assists you could probably take down to like 5 or something like that. Although he's got 3 consecutive games, despite the low minutes at 8+ assists. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I really think he's going to hit the PRA.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to look at after this. Yeah, put his minutes up to 24 and look at the PRA. think I took a quick glance at that earlier today, and it was
Yeah,
it was
75%
pretty
hit rate
nice,
on the season. I mean, that seems pretty good. That's a 22.5 PRA, minus 110 on DraftKings. So I
Yeah.
think that's probably the smartest way to play it. But if you want to try to break it into components and do 8 or 9 points, 5 assists, a couple rebounds, a 3, you can probably get plus money on this as well.
Yeah.
So either way, I think
All
those
right.
are good looks for Giddy. All right,
Sir.
so let's talk about Zach LaVine first before we finish with the most exciting play on this one. Zach LaVine for 20.5 points is what we were looking at as well.
Yeah, it's amazing all this scoring. One of the top defensive teams, and we're getting all these scoring plays coming out of the model here. But his line's 20.5 points, 69% hit rate on the season, 6 of his last 10 overall, 15 DVP, as he's also classified as a guard, just like Giddy. 99th percentile scorer at his position, according to Cleaning the Glass. So he's been on fire this season. Super efficient scoring. Chart's looking nice. Look at that. 4 of his last 5. What do we got him projected for minutes wise here? 35 minutes.
Yeah, I think that was
Also, yeah, go ahead.
that was the key, right? If we take him, kind of get rid of some of these low minute games, we're assuming this one will be somewhat competitive, although it is a 10-point spread. I think he has some big games this season when he's played 35 plus minutes.
Yeah. They're also on a back-to-back today. Check out his back-to-back.
This was the threshold. 33 minutes. He's cleared
there
in
we go.
11
Look
of 13
at that.
games.
That's the chart we're looking for right there.
And then back to back, he's played 3 games with 33 plus minutes on a back to back this season, and he's had 22, 25, 29, right?
Yeah. I think that's all his all three
Those are all,
back-to-backs.
yeah.
Yep.
So that actually makes sense, Probably other guys in the lineup are getting reduced minutes. They seem to be comfortable with his health this year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems a little. We're on Kobe White points, Josh Giddey points, Zach LaVine points. A lot of scoring. What did we say the total was in this game?
The total in this game was 224. So, but I mean, at the same point, Giddey's line is only
Who
10
else
and a
is
half
gonna
points.
score?
That's not a lot. So it's really Vucevic, LaVine, and Kobe White, right? And that accounts for probably 70% of the scoring. So I think that's probably okay to play them all. But I personally would find your favorite one and lean into that. I wouldn't kind of put too many units on this one game.
Yeah, but
all right. So we like LaVine there. Let's talk about the return of Vucevic to Orlando, right? You remember Vuce was traded. So what do you like on him? There's a lot of options you can go with.
Our model was saying his points and assists, especially the points at 17.5. He's cleared in 84% of games this season, 8 of his last 10. 74th percentile scorer. But I think if we dig into the chart there, look, that's a beautiful looking chart.
That is Vuce.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, 16 of 19 this season. This like screams like value, but Orlando is good defensively in the front court, right? That's kind of where they excel. So you were thinking more rebounds,
yes.
He does not have a great hit rate on rebounds this season, right? Compared to his points, 63% is still fine, but historically against Orlando, he rebounds really well, right?
Yeah, including 14 this season. Last game was this season, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 14 this. I believe that was this season, and then let's see what he's done in Orlando. He had a down game back in April. He only played 31 minutes in that game, but then the 3 games before that, 17, 13, and 13. So I don't know. I personally was leaning more towards his PR.
Okay.
And if you look at his PR on the road this season, he's cleared that in 82% of games. If you look at his PR overall this season at 26.5 PR, he's cleared that in 84% of games. So I know points are not necessarily the best matchup, but I do feel like he's going to put together a decent game.
What about a Vooch double for plus 100?
Yeah, I mean it's basically playing the rebounds, right? His rebound
Yeah.
line is,
Minus 115.
but
yeah.
he's going to get 10 points. So yeah, it's kind of a way of just like, getting a little bit more value on 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
And then 0 days rest as well. Look at him on 0 days rest this season, 4 straight games
Ooh.
on 0 days rest. So
The old man still can get it done on
Points.
back-to-backs. Let's go.
yeah, and PR is also good. So either one, I think both are good plays. I like the narrative, and I like them for points. I like them for rebounds. I like them for PR. So
Loving the Bulls tonight. I don't think this is.
yeah,
a lot
that's
of Bulls.
enough. That's
Yeah.
enough on that game. All right, let's go to the Nuggets and Jazz. The Nuggets are 9-7 on the season. Jazz are 4-13. Tank mode has already begun there. The Jazz are getting 9.5 points at home. Totals 230 in this game. Aaron Gordon is still out. Let's start with Jokic.
All right, let's start with Jokic.
All right, what do you like there?
He two plays were popping out here: his assists and his rebounds. Let's start with the assists. 9.5 is the line. 62% on the season. 7 of his last 10 overall. He is a 100th percentile. He is the top top assisting big man, which should come as no surprise. What's that chart look like?
Yeah, I mean, 2 down games against recently, with only 7 against the Knicks, but the 5 games prior to that he had cleared. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like he's excelled in the middle, and then I think he recently came back from injury and has been up and down since then.
History against Utah? What do you think?
Not great. He probably that was my assumption. He hasn't played huge minutes against Utah because they've been blowouts. So I think that's the thing to caution. But the Nuggets aren't quite as good as they've been in past years. So
Yeah.
maybe the Jazz keep this more competitive. So yeah, I think it's a lean.
Yeah.
Jokic for 9.5 assists, and then we also have him for 13 rebounds. What do you think about the rebounds?
7 of his last 10, 91st percentile rebounder. So nice matchup there. Don't like that history right there. I mean, the last 2 he got there, but feels...
Yeah, but this one was this season. He had 16 rebounds against
Oh, sorry, I
them.
didn't realize that was Utah. So I thought we were looking at the season.
Yeah, that's against Utah. Let's see if Walker Kessler played in that game. Yeah, Walker Kessler should be in the lineup tonight, and he played in that game, so that's a good sign. And for this season, a couple slow games to start the season, but
Yeah.
over his last 10, Jokic is cleared in 7 out of 10. Down game against the Knicks, but that was a blowout, that game, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was like not competitive. So
What about an RA for him?
yeah,
Take a-
I think RA is okay. I really, I,
like that's
I
too-
really
too heavy.
feel, yeah, I feel the rebounds a little bit more than the assists in this one. So,
All right.
all right. So that's our first giveaway player. Let's go with code Joker, Joker.
All right.
Head over to DubClub and hit the Prop the Mic link in this post and go use code Joker. Whoever gets there first gets first month for $1. So
$1.
$1
per month.
Joker. All right, let's keep moving in this game. We have Jamal Murray for 5.5 assists.
Yeah, great DVP on this one. 3rd overall guards against the Jazz. 3rd most assists. He's done it in 7 of his last 10 games. 49th percentile. That's not entirely his game. He's definitely more of a shooter. Deal alert. That's right. Deal alert. We just dropped it. I don't know. I think what about history against Utah?
Yeah, I mean, he only had 4 earlier this season against Utah in 27 minutes. I think his minutes have been trending up a bit. A lot of these games were without Jokic too. So if you look at him, with Jokic in the lineup, let's see. You can do that on props.cash. You come up to this player section, and then you say, show me the games where he played with Jokic. That's still pretty good, right? 4 out of his last 5 with Jokic, all of which were in November. So I always love putting Murray in builders for like 4 assists. I think he's an excellent addition there, especially in a 230-point game. I think he'll get the 6 assists tonight, but at -156, it's not my favorite play. So,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going. Another guy for assists, guard assists against the Jazz. Let's look at your guy, Russell
My guy,
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook. All right. I feel like this is a sneaky one. Again, good DVP. He's also done the 4.5 assists in 7 of his last 10. He's been good this season. 79th percentile assist guy.
He had 7 assists against the Jazz on November 2nd. Don't know if, yeah, and Murray obviously played in that game. We just saw that, right?
Yeah. What's his minutes look like over the last few games?
He played 31 minutes in that game, and then in terms of like the last 10, he's been playing bigger minutes, right? Aaron Gordon's out. A few other guys I think are in and out of the lineup.
And you knew Peyton Watson. He wasn't. Did we see him as a game time decision?
He's game time
game
decision.
Yeah.
Torso right hip strain, if you want to know why he's out. I think it's a good play. I'm always cautious about playing Westbrook. He's a guy who's really good to just play like
Live.
well,
Oh.
I just meant like a home run sort of play, right? Like play him for like 8+ assists for like a 1/10 of a unit or something like that.
Yeah.
I just don't trust his minutes right now. So, but who knows? Maybe this game blows out. Maybe he gets a
coming
little
off the
bit more
bench
run.
is tough at this point in his career. It's,
It is. Is this a revenge narrative for him? Didn't he? Wasn't he traded to the Jazz and never played a game there?
yes,
Right.
Yes, that did happen.
A lot of hatred towards the Jazz. All right, we got.
Didn't even give him a chance, man.
I know they were just buying out his contract.
Yeah.
Walker Kessler, I think, is a great play in this game.
Yeah. This feels good. 8.5 rebounds, 64% on the season. He was out for a while, right? He's been back a few games now?
Yeah, he played 2 straight games. Had 10 against the Knicks and then 7 against the Spurs. So that Spurs game bothers me a little bit because he had big minutes, 28 minutes, which is a lot for him, and he only recorded 7 rebounds. But centers, surprisingly, despite Jokic's ability to rebound, have like really dominated the boards against the Nuggets, right? Cat had 15 rebounds, I think 12 of which he got like in 3 quarters. Like he picked those up quickly. AD had 10 the other day. Yves Missy had 12. Chet 10. Pirtle 11. Walker Kessler back earlier this month had 14. So, and Gobert 14. So this could be a monster output for him. Like I could see him really racking them up in this one.
Yeah, it's a good matchup. 7 DVP, 85th percentile rebounder. I like this look. I like this one.
Yeah. He's also an excellent guy for a builder. If you're looking to put a builder together, 6+ rebounds for Walker Kessler is a really good value. So if you're afraid of the 8.5, try 6. Maybe put that with Murray for 4 assists, something like that. But I think 8.5 is a good one in this one. All right, that's it for that game. Let's move on to the Rockets and the Sixers. The Rockets are really just like not getting enough attention this season. They're 13-6 on the season. Like the investments they made last season and that were kind of like scoffed at because they didn't even make the playoffs ended up looking like they're paying off right after a year of playing together.
Yeah,
they're going up against the Sixers, who also made some investments that just aren't working out. They're 3-13 on the season. Sixers are getting 5.5 points at home. Total's not great. 219 in this one. Embiid's out. George is out. Whew.
it's
a rough time to be a
yeah.
Philly fan, man. I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of Philly fans listening in, so we empathize with you. We're from New York. We know what it's like to deal with rough sports teams.
It's getting late early in Philly, as they say.
It is. All right, let's go through this game quickly. Just a couple rebound plays. We got Van Vliet for 3.5, Jabari Smith for 6.5, and Tari Eason for 5.5. So all on the Rocket side. Where do you want to start?
Let's start at the top. Fred VanVleet, 3.5 rebounds, 7 of his last 10. Middle of the pack guards against Philly, but reading into that Philly DVP too much with all this lineup the lineup being in flux. I mean, I love. Look at that. What is that? 5, 6, 7, 7 of his last 9 games. I
Yeah.
love 7, 7, 7, 7, 6, 8. Like could be in store for a big rebounding game.
It's so counterintuitive. I never feel right playing Fred VanVleet. He's like one of the shorter guys in the NBA, isn't he?
Yeah.
But nevertheless, right? He's scrappy. He knows how to kind of be in the right position for boards. So yeah, there's a couple good comps in here. Like guys like Darius Garland, Jalen Suggs. Who else? Jimmy had 10 rebounds. Scottie Pippen. Jimmy's not really a point guard. He's more of a forward. But anyway, I think it's a good look. It's it's a pretty good value at -122 when he's been crushing this over his last 8 games. So
yeah, those guard rebounds can be a little fluky though.
A little fluky. So let's look at
the next 2 guys are better.
Yeah, the next 2 guys. Let's look at Jabari Smith Jr. for 6.5 rebounds. This is also a great matchup, 10th overall matchup from a DVP standpoint. What else do you see on this one?
I mean, he is generally not a great rebounder. You compare these 2 guys; they're both forwards for the Rockets. Jabari Smith is a 20th percentile rebounder at his position. Tari Eason is a 92nd percentile rebounder at his position, so much more rebounding focused. But look at Smith lately.
His last 2 games, 37 minutes and 38 minutes, right?
Giant minutes, yeah. I just don't love like the 2s, like the couple 2s and the 4 that we see in there. But I guess those were lower minute games. Would you bring that up to 30? What do we have him projected for? 27 minutes.
27.
27 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
They're deep. Houston's deep. The guys don't play like giant minutes, right?
Yeah. But if you think he's going to play 30, I mean, look what he's done. 8 straight games with 30 minutes. Take him down to 27 minutes, which is probably a little safer. He's still got an 82% hit rate on the season. So also a great candidate for a builder, 5, 6 rebounds, awesome value. But I think he's going to get the 6.5. I think he'll get 7 rebounds tonight at -1.
All right, you like it. All right, let's do it.
I do. But let's talk about Tari Eason as an alternative. Your man. One of Tom's favorites.
Love Tar. Look at that chart. No filters on that or anything. A couple down games. Those last 2 were his minutes down in those games.
They were. He's down to like 19 or 18 minutes.
Jabari took those minutes, it looks like, because his minutes shot way up in those 2 games. Foul trouble or something? Or
let's look. We can look down here. He had 3 fouls in the last game, so not. I just think, like you said, they have depth at that forward position, and it's like whoever's probably playing well in that moment is going to stay in the game. So it would be so awesome if, I don't know if any books offer this, but like a combined prop. I know Prize Picks sometimes does that,
Yes,
but
they
like
do.
an Eason Smith combined rebound play would be so awesome because I think between the 2 of them, they're going to rack up, probably 15 rebounds. It's just who's going to get them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, a little mini builder, a little mini rebound builder for these guys.
Yeah, maybe that's another way to do it, right? Take them both down, Eason down to 5 and maybe Smith down to 6. Something like that could get you plus money. But I think, both of them are in great positions. One of them is going to hit. Maybe both of them hit tonight. So go with whoever you like better in this one, okay?
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving.
Let's keep rolling. I think we got a giveaway coming up in this game. So we got the Clippers at the Wizards, right? Clippers are 11-8. Wizards are pathetic 2-14. Wizards are getting 10.5 points at home. Totals 223. Even Malcolm Brogdon can't save this team, but certainly makes them more fun to watch. Jordan Poole, I think, is game time decision. Norman Powell, who we're going to talk about in a second, is also game time decision. Hopefully he's back today. Let's start with Norm. What do you like on him if he does play?
Norm, his points are what the model is telling us to play here. 20.5 points, 67% of the season, 7 of his last 10. Great DVP of 3 against this not so great Wizards team. 94th percentile scorer. The guy's just been when he's been out there, he's been awesome this year.
not just awesome, he's actually leading the Clippers in scoring. So despite the presence of James Harden on that team, and Zubac, like Harden has accepted, the facilitator role. He draws so much attention when he drives to the paint, and then guys like Norman Powell are wide open for threes or cuts to the hoop. So
Yeah.
this is a dream matchup, man. Obviously, you got to be careful looking at the Washington DVP because they're obviously bottom, and they do have guys like Kuzma and Brogdon now in the lineup, which are going to change some things. But still, I think this is 223 points. I think Norm's good for 20 of them.
Yeah, if he plays, yeah, I like this one.
All right. Next one, we got Alex Sarr.
Let's go.
I think this is the sneakiest play of the day. 1.5 assists.
Was it last week's Dub Club we gave this out? Did we give it out
I don't know.
last week? Or
We
the
definitely
first?
gave it out last week. I don't know if it was on the Dub Club,
Oh.
but it did cash in like, I don't know, maybe the
First quarter, I think.
quarter or something like that, right?
Yeah, 2 assists. Look at this guy. Look at that. 3 assists in 4 of his last 5 games. The odds have gone up a little bit. Wasn't this like minus 130 on DK earlier today?
Yeah. We locked it in at minus 135 in the Discord earlier this morning. So definitely pays to get those early lines. But still, at minus 168, it's still okay. Just find a minus 500 to put with it, and you get like near plus money odds. So I think it's still a good play at 2+ assists.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's getting the job done. The potentials. You want to just take a quick look at those, or?
Yeah, I don't think they loaded for the last game, but
okay.
prior to that,
Yeah, it's not like Capella where it's like 1 potential, 1 assist. Like the guy's he's a bit of a playmaker. It's good. What's his 63rd percentile playmaker for a big. So I like that number 1 overall matchup. Great play. Love this.
number 1 overall matchup because you got guys like Porzingis getting to, Trace Jackson Davis to, John Collins to. Şengün, he's one of those outlier guys who draw these averages up, putting up 10 and 6. But then you got a guy like Jalen Williams, who was playing center at the time.
Yeah.
All these guys, Chet, not really an assist guy, got 4. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good look. If you want, you can also probably play him for RA as well at 10.5. His minutes are also huge when you bring him up to 30 plus, not even 28 plus minutes. He's cleared in all 4 games. So if you don't love
projected for 27 tonight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right there.
So if you don't love that minus 168, there's another alternative. And that is our next giveaway. Code ALEX, Alex, in honor of our host here and this play. So go ahead to DubClub and type in code Alex and redeem your $1 membership for the PTM Discord.
Let's go.
All right. So that's 2 giveaways. I got 3 left for this show. Let's move on to the Lakers Spurs. These 2 teams played earlier this season. A lot of stuff popping in this game. Lakers are 10-7 on the season, 3-5 on the road. Spurs are 10-8 on the season, 8-3 at home. Yet the Spurs are getting points. I thought that was kind of surprising. Lakers on a back-to-back, and the Spurs are really good at home. Total is 228 in this game. Mostly everybody's playing. Sohan's still out for the Spurs. All right, let's start on the Lakers side. You like something for Austin Reeves?
Yeah, Austin Reeves assists, 4.5 assists. He's cleared in 8 of his last 10 games. DVP matchups not great, but I don't know. I feel like I don't mind that too much. 64th percentile assist guy at his position. Looks like on the back-to-back is good for him. I see 100% hit rate on back-to-backs this season. And look at that. Look at the recent chart there. That's what has he got? 8 of his last 10. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, down game last night, but overall he's been pretty good.
Yeah, I like this one.
What do you have against 6
Yeah,
against San Antonio earlier this season. So
Yeah, I like this one. This is a good one.
all right. Next play we have Dalton Connect. You would expect me to say points because he's a scorer, but 2.5 rebounds is a sneaky little play. 5th overall DVP. His minutes are definitely shrinking a little bit as Rui and others come back into the lineup. This was 2.5. Yeah, it's gone up to 3.5 at plus money. But if you look on the season, he's had 4+ rebounds in 5 straight games. So, I think that I don't know if I would play it at 3.5, but this is an opportunity, like when we're talking about the Alex Sarr play at 2+ assists. If you want to pair that with Dalton Connect in this game for 3+ rebounds, that's an easy way of creating like probably like a plus 150 play or something like that.
Yeah,
So
Alex is chiming in the chat saying JJ said he might be in the starting lineup.
really,
You liking it?
Interesting.
You liking it then? Liking it more then?
Dalton for 20 rebounds now.
There we go.
I mean, you got to figure LeBron's going to get, little less run time today, but and Rui's minutes have been limited to like 20, so that would be cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Let's take a look at LeBron.
All right.
He's on this list too.
What do we got him
7.5
for?
rebounds, 6 of his last 10. He cleared in the previous game against the Spurs.
With 16 rebounds.
Yeah, DVP
Wow.
of 5, 76 percentile rebounder for a forward. This is also feeling good.
Yeah, I think he's good. I'm always caught. Like, I never know how to play LeBron. Like, I think 90% of the plays I do on LeBron are builders just because it's like he kind of, or RAs. I think those are also nice to play. But his RA line is usually
High.
like 14.5. Now it's
Yeah.
creeping up to 17.5. So, I don't know. I will probably play this as like 6 rebounds and maybe a couple assists and some points, just to hedge a little bit. But
6 and 6 and some points.
yeah, something like that.
right.
All right, so that's the Lakers side. Then we got a few plays on the Spurs side. Chris Paul for 8.5 points. There's a couple players that when Tom and I review this list, like Tom automatically says no. It doesn't matter. It could be 100% hit rate for the last like 300 games, and Tom will just say no. Chris Paul is one of them. So he was on here.
Yeah.
What was it? 8.5. It was 8.5 points earlier today.
It's up.
Fanatic still has it for 8.5. It looks like. I mean, it's hard to argue that.
It's hard to argue with that chart, but I just feel like, though all the numbers, sometimes I guess you can't just trust your gut. You gotta like let the data lead you there, right? 78% of the season, 8 of his last 10. DVP of is 10, so good. 79th percentile scorer for guards. And what did he have? It looks like he cleared in the previous game.
Yeah,
What did he have in
11
that previous
points
game? Yeah.
against the Lakers earlier this season. He wasn't bad on
No.
back-to-backs either, right? Oh no, they actually are on a back-to-back, right? Did they play last night?
They did, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's against the Lakers. Yeah, look at that on back-to-backs too.
No, you gotta.
Yeah, 2 for 3 on back-to-backs. So, I think it's a good play.
All right, I
wa-
could get behind this one.
Tom wants to delete Chris Paul from the model.
CP3.
He already
get
told me to
behind it
delete
tonight.
Harrison Barnes from the model. So
Yes,
that-
that I'm not going back on.
We're not talking about Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Julian Champagny for 4.5 rebounds. We've made a lot of money.
Favorite of Prop the Mic. Yeah.
We made a lot of money
out of
on
nowhere. Julian Champagny rebounds, 82nd percentile rebounder, DVP of 6. He cleared in the previous game against the Lakers. 7 of his last 10, even better on the whole season, 72%. Still got Jeremy Sohan out.
He had 8 rebounds against the Lakers last time they played. And I was surprised. Wemby's been in and out of the lineup. I would think his numbers would get worse with Wemby in the lineup, but with Wemby in the lineup, he goes from 72% to 80%. So I don't know. Maybe Wemby's drawing the big men, and he's able to kind of swoop up the cheapies. So
I'm in for the Champagny party. Let's go.
Champagny. And look, plus 110 on FanDuel. So
Yeah.
even if you want to take it down to 4, you could probably still get it for pretty good odds there. So Julian Champagny for 4.5 rebounds.
Let's go. Run it
let's
back.
go with it. Let's skip this guy, but take a look at Keldon Johnson when you guys have a chance as well. Same deal, 4.5 rebounds, same positional matchups. He didn't clear against the Lakers, so we don't love this one quite as much, but also an option. All right?
Yeah. All right.
Let's go to the Heat and the Hornets. The Heat are 7-8 on the season. Hornets are 6-11. Hornets are getting 3.5 points. Totals 218. Kevin Love is out, which automatically makes the game less exciting. Miles Bridges is out. Nick Richards is out. Mark Williams is out. Grant Williams is out. So the whole front court of the Hornets is pretty decimated. Where are we going?
You just love those Kevin Love outlet passes, don't you?
You know why I love them? We talked about this on the pod last year. Kevin Love, you play his RA. He goes up, he grabs this old man rebound, does like a hard 1980s pivot, and then does a soccer throw-in, a full court to Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler scores. You needed 6.5 RA. He just got 2 in a matter of 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Him and Draymond, they're both good for picking up like double stats in like very short periods of time.
Yes.
But let's stop talking about Kevin Love. He's not playing. Let's talk about somebody who is playing on
Bam.
Yeah, on the Heat side. Bam. 3.5
a giveaway.
It is a giveaway. Now you figured out the code. I got a little cheat sheet here that
I
Tom's
see
reading.
that. I see that.
All right, so head to DubClub. Use code BAM in honor of one of our favorite guys, Bam Adebayo. You get a $1 for 1 month of Prop the Mic DubClub. So go ahead. First person there gets it.
Bam.
BAM.
Go. Bam Bam Bigelow. Let's go.
All right, so what's the play you got for Bam?
Assists. We always love. It's another favorite play of ours. I don't think we've played it much this season, but going back, Bam assists, always a place we like to go to. 60% of the season, 7 of his last 10, 81st percentile assist guy for big men. DVP's not great at 23. What's the chart look like? 5 in his last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean he was in foul trouble too. I was watching the game last night. He had he picked up a lot of stupid fouls, like got himself in trouble early. 4 fouls 3 games ago, 5 fouls last game. So I don't see him really needing to get in foul trouble in this game, right? With the decimated front court. This is going to be a very guard heavy game.
Yeah. So he's got the size down. He doesn't have Miles Bridges, like you said. Miles Bridges out. All those bigs for Charlotte out. So he should be able to really clean up the glass pretty good tonight.
Well, good history against Charlotte. Only had 3 earlier this season, but before that, 6 straight games against Charlotte. So very nice there.
Yeah. Forget what I was just saying. I was thinking we were on his rebounds for a second. Sorry.
All good. All right, so Bam for 3.5 assists. What else do we like in this one? Tyler Hero for 4.5 assists. You like that too?
Yeah, I do like that. I almost put this one in the props.cash insight blog today. But what do we got here? Yeah, 7 of his last 10, 69th percentile assist guy. Just getting there though. You want to look at him on back-to-backs?
On back-to-backs this season. Yeah, 5 straight on back-to-backs.
Yeah, I mean that goes back to last season, but still, I do like that second half of that chart right there. Only 1 game this season with 5. A little juicy, -142. I feel like this is a good. Did you click on Charlotte already? The history against Charlotte?
Yeah, he had 5 last time he played Charlotte this season, and then
I don't know. What do you think?
These aren't really like traditional assists. These are because Hero is such a good shooter. He's drawing a lot of attention outside the 3-point line, and I think Spoelstra's designed some plays. He called one right out of a timeout yesterday where they swung the ball to Hero. two defenders collapsed on Hero. Hero just kind of bounced past it to Bam. Bam dunked it. So I think it's mostly just him passing out of double teams, and then, but that's fine. I mean, that's kind of what he's doing. So I like it. I think it's a pretty solid play.
All right.
All right, so that's on that side. Then one of our favorite plays of the day, also in the Props Like Cash Insight blog, Brandon Miller over 5.5 rebounds.
Yeah. Just look at me. Remember, we got Miles Bridges out. I think that was the chart we really liked. You look at Brandon Miller, rebounds without Miles Bridges.
Yeah, let's go up to the injury section, and we'll find Miles Bridges. So without Miles Bridges, he is
5 of 6 this season.
5 of
Love
6.
those, and those. This is two different stints, two different injury stints right here. The first two were earlier in the season. Then he was back for a few games. Then he's been out these last 4. I love these last 3 games here with 7, 11, and 10 for Brandon Miller. It's a nice. That's a nice look. I love this play.
Yeah, could be a good double look, right?
Yeah, man.
His assists are popping too. Without Bridges, he's cleared in 4 of 6 games. So also good matchup. I think, and I think you can play as RA as well. We were really debating rebounds or RA. We went with the rebounds, but 9.5 RA, same deal. 5 out of 6 games without Bridges. So I think any of these are good looks. The guy's playing awesome.
I'm just looking at what the double is. Plus 650.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically just betting on him to get 10 rebounds, right?
Yeah.
He's probably not going to get 10 assists. So, all right, and then a sneaky play, Cody Martin. For a second, I thought this was a Martin versus Martin game, but then Tom reminded me that the other Martin is over in Philly.
10 rebounds is actually plus 700. It's even better than the double.
Oh wow! All right, so just play that. All right, Cody Martin for 4.5 rebounds. Kind of a sneaky play, not something we would normally have found, but it popped out in the model. And if you look, over the last 10 games, he's cleared this in 6 out of 10. Over the last 5, he's cleared this in 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
By a decent margin. He's getting 6 rebounds. We only need 5. Minus 104 on FanDuel for this one. So not my favorite play, but the minutes are up. He's getting 25 plus minutes in most of these games, and
all those injuries. Yeah.
Somebody's got to grab the board. So
yeah, that's a sneaky one.
Yeah, if you want to play a sneaky play, a little bit lower line than Miller, you could go with Cody Martin for 4.5. All right.
All right.
So that's that. Let's go to the Knicks Mavericks game. This one was penciled in the schedule with the expectation to be like Brunson, Luka, and then Luka's out. So we still found some value in this one. Let's start on the Mavericks side. PJ Washington, really surprising find that we had here. His last 5 games, he has cleared 8.5 rebounds in 4 out of 5. If you look at him, what was it, without Luka?
With 4 for 4 this season without Luka, and also 6 straight games when he's played 33 plus minutes. He's going to get the minutes in this game. They got a lot of game time decisions. I think Clay's game time, Luka's out, and Lively's game time decisions. So.
Yeah, I mean I think this one's a home run even if Lively plays, but if if Lively's out, Gafford, is getting extended minutes, but he only really runs 25 minutes. So PJ is the one who's going to get the bulk of the minutes in the front court. Look at his last 3 games: 35 minutes, 39 minutes, 38 minutes. Massive minutes. Should get that today. So I think PJ for 8.5 rebounds at plus money is amazing.
Yeah, there must be like some stomach bug or COVID or something going around, because you got Gafford, Grimes, and Lively all questionable with illnesses.
Gafford too. Wow, Gafford doesn't play. Yeah. The only problem is, if they're super thin, this could turn into a blowout, and then.
Yeah, but he's going to have to play. I mean, they're going to be pretty thin. I mean, Clay's questionable as well,
But it's a 4.5-point game and 233-point total. So the ball's going to move. There's going to be lots of rebound chances. So I think it's good.
Yeah.
All right. And if you want to, take it down a little bit, you can still, I think, minus 125, minus 130 on FanDuel for 8 rebounds is also an option.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So we got that. Let's talk about the Knicks side. Cat for 11.5 rebounds.
Yeah, feels pretty good. 11.5 rebounds, 6 of his last 10 games. Good DVP of 8, especially if those, if Gafford and Lively are a little bit down today, if they're sick or they're out or whatever. He's just been feasting. 94th percentile rebounder among big men. He's really, stepped up the game. He doesn't have Rudy Gobert, cleaning up the glass this year. It's all him. So, yeah, I like this play.
All right. Yeah, me too. His assists were also popping, 2.5 assists. Look what he's done over his last, 7 games. So an RA is also a nice way to play Cat this season as well. The hit rates are even higher for 14.5 RA over the last 10, 15 games. So excellent play on Cat. Super efficient this year. Let's talk about Miles McBride real quick. 8.5 points is an option here for McBride. Why do we think that's a good look here?
7 of his last 10, 78th percentile scorer. It's just 8.5 points. What's that? Yeah.
Minutes. It's really about the minutes too, right? I think he's projected for 24 plus minutes. If he gets that, he's cleared this in 8 out of 10 games. Also, some opportunity maybe for some extended run if this one does get away. So, I think it's a good look.
Yeah, I think Tibbs is tired of seeing Campaign shoot the ball, so he'll let Miles McBride get some extra run.
Exactly. All right, I almost forgot. Fourth giveaway is code CAT in honor of Karl Anthony Towns. KAT, not CAT. KAT. Go over to DubClub, the PTM DubClub, and use code CAT for $1 membership. First one gets it. All right, let's move on from this game. Let's go to the Warriors Thunder. Got a couple plays in here. Let's start with the big man formerly from the Knicks, Isaiah Hartenstein. What do you like for Isaiah?
So Isaiah, his points and his rebounds were both popping out in the model. He's only been back for 2 games. We like putting them together, points and rebounds for Hartenstein. What was the total on that one? 22.5. It's gone up a little bit. Wasn't it 21 earlier, maybe?
Oh,
or
19.5
is
at
Caesars.
Still at Caesars. I think that's where we locked it in. So
yeah,
go grab it there. I mean, look at that. That's a 3-point difference between Caesars and FanDuel. There's probably even some arbitrage opportunity there if you have access to both books with a 3-point spread like that. So go take advantage of that and lock in Isaiah for 19.5. Just some comps against Golden State. Zaire Williams, 29 PR, Wemby, 32 PR, Clint Capella, 21, Zubac, 25, Zach Edey, 23. It goes on and on and on. Isaiah's getting 19.5 today. It's a great play.
It is. You like it? You like it at 21.5?
I do.
Yeah.
I'd probably play it at like a lower unit, like maybe 0.75 unit if I couldn't get it at 19.5. Let's talk about your guy, Lindy Waters. You got a little story to talk about. You made me add him to the big picture today.
Man.
Why?
So the guy's been, Buddy Hield's minutes are down. D'Anthony Melton's out. Lindy Waters, look at his last few games. The minutes are up. And the guy's got the OKC connection. So he played college ball in Oklahoma. He played for the Thunder for the last couple years. A bench guy, coming off the bench for the Thunder. But still got the revenge narrative playing the Thunder. Team he started his career with. He's got all those connections to, and you see what he's done over his last. He gets 20 minutes, and that's basically over the last few games. Like he's becoming a bigger part of the team here. He takes a lot of threes, so I think threes are the other way you could look at Lindy Waters. Yeah, look at that. Look at his last. What is that? His last 5 of 6 games. He's had 2 made threes. In 5 of his last 6 games. So I think the points at 8.5 or the points are you don't have to pay as much juice as you will for the threes, and threes are not as readily available for Lindy Waters. But I guess we don't need to spend too much time on Lindy Waters. But I just thought this was a sneaky little one, given the revenge narrative and the increased playing time he's getting over the last few games.
Exactly. All right, Lou Dort is the next play. Not somebody we typically play, but with the decimated front court for OKC, Dort's been getting big minutes. Both his assists and his rebounds were popping. Look at his last 5 games for RA if you put them together. Yeah. Minus 129 on Caesars, 11, 8, 14, 7, 12. You would think, these are elevated because Hartenstein wasn't playing, but even with him in the lineup, 7 and 12.
Yeah, like it.
Seems like a good spot, and he had 9 against Golden State back earlier in November. So Lou Dort for 6.5 RA is a sneaky play.
I like it.
Let's finish with Steph RA.
Steph's out tonight.
He's out, man.
Yep.
It just dropped. All right, we're gonna have to think about the implications of that. But I like that Lindy Waters play even more, right?
With Steph out for sure. Yeah.
All right, so that's everything for that game that we had. I think Draymond was also popping for 6.5 rebounds. But I probably like Draymond even less with Steph out. I don't know. He just seems to function better when Steph's in the lineup.
Him and Steph need each other. Yeah.
Last game that we're going to cover, we just got one play for this. The Kings, 8 and 10, going up against the T-Wolves, 8 and 9. T-Wolves are minus 3.5 points. Totals 219. DeRozan is out. We have one play on this game. Before we give out the play, this is for Anthony Edwards. Go use code ANT for our final giveaway. Code ANT on DubClub. The PTM link in the message below, and you can get a $1 a month. Whoever gets there first. So that's our final giveaway. But why do you like Ant for threes today?
I like the last two. You had the animal codes, cat, and now Ant.
Cat,
right,
yeah.
Right. Cute. So threes, not a lot of threes today that we've been discussing, but
no.
I do like that's a great call out, Dave. I think people should lock in some Lindy Waters plays with Steph just being ruled out tonight. That is very, very sneaky.
You just can't wait to get off this show right now to go lock it in. I can tell. I see it.
3.5 made threes. He's cleared 76% of games this season, 7 of his last 10. DVP of 4, 84th percentile three-point shooter at his position. He's cleared in both games against the Kings, and I think by quite a bit. Yeah, 5 and 6. Yeah, he's just been bombing away from 3 this season. I think this is a great spot. I know it seems high at 4, but yeah, I like Ant for 4 threes.
Awesome. All right, there you have it. That's a wrap, right? That's how you work through 10 games in under an hour.
Alex, very nice. Ride with Waters when you're missing a splash, bro.
Wow,
nice.
Dude,
nice.
That's poetic,
job,
man. But anyway, we appreciate you guys joining today. Congrats to all the people that won the $1 membership. It's always fun giving things away. We're really grateful as we approach Thanksgiving for everything that DubClub has done for us, and grateful for all of our members. So thank you guys for listening in. We will be, just a reminder, PTM specializes in basketball. Well, we cover every sport. We got a full team in our Discord. We're actually going to be running an NFL pod for Thursday and Friday's games in 15 minutes here on X. So back-to-back pods if you want to come watch with us in 15 minutes.
Make sure you guys tag us in that too, so we'll share it, guys. I mean,
awesome.
Cool. The Prop the Mic guys are clearly the best. If you just listened for the last hour, I learned a lot, and you guys gave me some gems that I was cracking jokes in the chat, but I was also locking stuff in. So the Waters player, I'm all over that. But guys, again, their DubClub is right underneath the stream, and if you were in there and lucky enough to get some of those codes, definitely go use those now before somebody else does. 50% off if you didn't get your hands on one of those. But fellas, I really appreciate it as always. Happy Thanksgiving. We got so many sports here, and like they said, they have somebody covering other sports in their Discord. So it's not just NBA. If you want Feast Week, if you want NFL, if you want everything else, it's all in their Discord. So Prop the mic. I appreciate it, fellas, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate you guys. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.